Good day everybody. Today I'm gonna show you how to do a transmission drain and fill, and the tools you're gonna need are very simple. You need a ratchet with a socket that's, I believe, 24. Yep, 24. Yep. And then needle nose pliers are best, but I couldn't find any, so just regular small pliers will do. You need a long funnel and a catch bin or something to catch the oil with. It's very simple. You don't need to jack the car or anything like that. First things first, I got an aftermarket intercooler and intake, so it's pretty exposed, but if yours is bone stock, your intake scoop will be right in the way, so you gotta remove that. Once you remove that, then you're exposed to the transmission parts. And if we look closely here, that's this guy right here is what we're going to be working with. There's a little clip on the hose that comes out of it. That's a breather clip, so we're going to remove that. And then this part right here, literally hook in your socket in there and twist it and open it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you remove the clip with the needle nose pliers, this hose here is pretty tight on, so what you can do is use a flathead to pry it out of the unit itself. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pry that because it's very hard with one hand. And one other thing I missed to say is you need a extension bar like this, because there is a very tight spot for you to put this in there. So with an extension, it makes it easier to open and close it. Without this, it'll be hard to do. So go ahead and remove the breather hose and I'll come back. Alright, now that the breather hose is out of the, there we go, you can see it's out. So now we're going to use our extension to open this up, and it's going to be counterclockwise. So, there we go. Let's see, is the camera on it? You're gonna open it, and once it's loose enough, the rest you can do by hand. Can't see it in the video. And once it's removed, there it is. You're gonna put this to the side so you don't lose it. And for now, to keep it covered, we're gonna use our long funnel and just leave it in that hole, and that's it. We're not gonna touch that until we're ready to fill up. And now we come to the bottom to do the drain. You don't need to lift up the car or anything like that, as long as it's on the level ground. So when we reach to the bottom of the transmission, here is the, there, oh, you can barely see it. So this is the drain bolt right here, and it's 24 millimeters. We have a basket beside it, and we're gonna open it counterclockwise. Just gonna go ahead and do this as you are watching. The first time I did this, I did have to use a breaker bar. It was on pretty tight. Holy moly. There we go. It snapped. Now we're gonna keep our basket beside it. And slowly open it. Careful, it is hot oil. You want to do this when your temperature is, your engine is up to temperature. That's it. You let that drain, Okay, so as the oil is draining, you want to take the drain bolt and clean it up pretty good. This is magnetic, so I had quite a few metal shavings stuck to it. I just wiped it off with a rag. And we're gonna keep draining it until we see it dripping. Once it drips, we're gonna use a little bit of the new oil to flush down whatever is still left in there. Alright, now so it's dripping drop by drop. We're gonna pour just a little bit of the new stuff. Not too much, just a little bit, just to flush out whatever is in there. And here we go. So now we're gonna wait again till the drops. I mean drops by drops. Then we're gonna plug it back and we're gonna show you how to fill it back up. Ready? Alright, now that we see it dropping drop by drop, we're gonna plug it back up. Always spin it with hand. And now that it's hand tight, we're gonna tighten it up with a ratchet. Oops. Clockwise is tight. We're gonna basically tighten it as much as we can with hand. So quick. Okay, it's a good idea to clean it up a little bit too, just in case there's a leak or the washer is bad or anything, so you can see it dripping. Now to do the fill up, we're gonna keep the basket here, and if we come to this side, the front of the car, this piece right here where your ratchet extension bar goes in, just like the top one, this is the leveler. This will tell you how much you can put in before you overflow. So I'm going to show you how to open this. Same thing, grab your extension. Oh, too long. And we're going to open this counterclockwise. Don't open it too much, because if you open it too much, it will just pop right out like this. Don't want that headache, so I'm just gonna put it back in like that, and just not tight but loose. And we're gonna keep our drain pan here, and we're gonna start adding the oil on top until we see it dripping from here. Then we know we have enough. So let's go to the top. Keep adding the oils. Here is bottle number 1. I'm gonna keep doing that, and you want to add it slowly. And we'll be back after I see the liquid dripping. All right, so on my 4th bottle, I see it dripping from here. So I'm just gonna add a little more. I'm just gonna add a little more. This is the 4th bottle, to make sure that it's dripping enough from there. Man, it's still drips. I'm gonna keep adding. All of the 4th bottle. Let's see. There we go. That means we're at level, or maybe higher than that. So now what we do is we let it drain until we see ... coming out of it. And then we close it and go for a drive and switch the gears and make sure that fluid is heated up to temperature, because what happens is when the transmission fluid gets hot, it expands. So once we do that, the level in the actual transmission is going to be actually higher than what it's supposed to be. So we'll open the leveler again after we drain the fluid, after we go for a drive, and make sure it comes out dot dot dot. Alright, so it's coming out drop by drop. We're gonna go ahead and close this clockwise. I almost forget this. You don't want to tighten it. It already tightens. There's a clip here. When you're up to that clip, that's it, it's done. And what we're gonna do is clean up the area so nothing drops on the floor. We're going to be opening this again after we come from a drive. Now, a common mistake is, as this is dripping, to come down to drop wise, some people plug the top back. What happens is, when you plug the top back, it builds a vacuum and you get a false result. So now that it's dropping drop by drop and we close that, now we can go ahead and close the top as well. And it's just reverse order of how we opened it. Put this piece back in there, make sure the little hose that's for the breather tube is connected back. This piece right here, and that's it. We'll come back, show you once we're going for a drive. Alright, so now we're gonna go for a drive. Just turned on the car. Before we could reverse it and all that, let's move the gears around. Reverse, neutral, drive, back to neutral, reverse, drive. Sorry, park. And I'm gonna do this about, say, 3 times. And that's it. And now we're gonna go for a ride. You just want to switch through the gears. Best way I find is if I put it on Sportronic and just shift through the gears nice and easy myself. We're gonna do this drive for about 10 minutes so the the transmission oil gets nice and hot, and then we're gonna come back and open the leveler, ensure that any extra oil is out of the system.